Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. If you're new and you're absolutely in love with the New York Knicks like I am, I recommend clicking that red subscribe button down below and lighting up that post notification bell so you do not miss any future content on this channel. So as you guys know, the New York Knicks are off to a 500 start. They're currently 4-4 on the season, and they have an opportunity to go above 500 on Sunday afternoon as they take on the Charlotte Hornets, a team that is struggling, but they came out with a win versus the Washington Wizards. Maybe you could read a lot into that. Maybe you cannot, because the Wizards are not a very good team, and they weren't projected to be a good team. So the New York Knicks have an opportunity to be 5-4 with a win at the Garden versus Charlotte. They're currently 4-4 right now, and there is more than one individual player that has been encouraging to start off the season, but I feel we have to talk about RJ Barrett. I know it's only 6 games into the season for RJ Barrett, could have been 8, but he does have a lingering knee issue, which has been hurting him since the first game of the season versus the Boston Celtics on opening night, when he had a dunk early on in transition in the first quarter, and I believe someone landed or hit the back of his knee. So he does have this sore knee that they have been labeling it as, and it might be a blessing in disguise to actually maybe have some load management on this team, especially because Tibbs does like playing his starters a good amount of minutes. So it might be good when it comes to playoff time, if this team makes it to the playoffs, for RJ Barrett to be freshened up and really just well conditioned. I feel that's going to be a huge thing, but RJ Barrett's not playing like he has a knee issue right now, as he missed the second game of the back-to-back versus Cleveland. We obviously lost that second game, and then the Milwaukee Bucks game that we went on to lose down the wire with Jalen Brunson having 45 points. RJ Barrett did not play in that game, and you did have this feeling that you're missing the presence of RJ Barrett in those losses. Yes, obviously we lost to Boston, we lost to New Orleans, which was a second game of a back-to-back, which RJ Barrett did play. But without RJ Barrett, you really feel like you're missing that three-point shooting, which is crazy to say because RJ Barrett's gone off to the slow start in his career from three and has been an inconsistent up and down three-point shooter, but he's been very consistent through these 6 games that he has played because Randall and Brunson, they like to attack and initiate offense. It opens up so much for RJ to have these open threes, and now with RJ actually knocking down these threes, it has been so big time. That's why we really missed him when it came to the Bucks game, when it came to the exterior three-point shooting, three-point shooting outside on the perimeter, in that game that we missed him. And then in the Cleveland Cavaliers game of a back-to-back, maybe he would have struggled because it's a back-to-back, fatigued legs, but RJ Barrett being an over 40% three-point shooter has opened up so much, and he's reading the game at another level that we haven't been used to seeing RJ Barrett read the game at. He's not just looking to score on his own in transition, he's looking to get others involved. When a screen's being set, he's not just utilizing that screen to score. We have seen in the past that he looks to lob it up to Mitchell Robinson. There's just more of a versatility when it comes to his passing. I know it's early on, but the touch on his passes are a lot better. The bounce passes, just the timing of the utilizing of the screens, just reading the center, if it's Hartenstein or Mitchell Robinson, whoever's setting the screen in that certain situation. It just seems like he's really reading the game at a high level that you have to be proud of. He's finishing very well at the basket, and I feel I've seen some finishes that I haven't really seen consistently last year that he had. Yes, we've seen him attempt and finish at the basket with reverse layups, but he's looking to protect the ball more and be less predictable when finishing at the basket. Opening night, when he went right at Porzingis, it wasn't a very predictable going at Porzingis drive that he was just trying to use his physicality. He looked to use more touch and finesse and protect the basketball, which was a very impressive finish over Kristaps Porzingis. But yes, in those games that we lost, we missed his efficient finishing in the interior and his three-point shooting. Brunson and Randall open up so much for RJ, and we really missed that in those games. So the New York Knicks are 4-2 when RJ Barrett is healthy. I know it's a very small sample size, but you look at his game, you look at the facilitating when given the opportunity. He's been making very well executed passes. I love that lob pass over to Hartenstein. I believe it was versus the Spurs, or it was actually versus the Clippers. He recognized Hartenstein rolling to the basket and just put enough touch and was able to lob it to Hartenstein. And one of my concerns was the three-point shooting of his mechanics. I feel like he's been tweaking his mechanics too much. I'm like, damn, his release looks kind of slow. He wasn't shooting it well in the preseason at all. He was he was 3 of 13 from three. So good thing he got all the crappiness of his jumper, I guess, out in the preseason. Maybe they tweaked tweak something else, or maybe just a repetition thing, getting used to the jumper. But I thought he wasn't going to really be able to get it off when guys are closing out him strong. But we have seen that his shot looks, he's able to get it off. Corner three over Wembanyama. Wembanyama's an 8-foot wingspan, probably the longest wingspan in the NBA. This dude is 7'4", 7'5", around that department. So seeing that three ball go down, not just when it comes to just wide open looks, but guys closing out on him at the 3-point line, that's very encouraging. Again, it's a small sample size. We need to see more consistency, but this is the best start he's gotten off to in his career, shooting the three ball and overall efficiency, finishing at the basket. I like seeing him go to that floater, catch guys on his hip, and just read the game at another level. He's less predictable as an offensive player. He's even shown, even opening night, utilizing a screen, working around the screen, little sidestep, getting into that mid-range, hitting that mid-range corner jumper. And before, we would see RJ attempt these mid-range jumpers and it looked unnatural, it looked uncomfortable, it didn't look fluid. But now his jumper, it looks more fluid off of the mid-range and he's not afraid to attempt them. There's been a couple games that they haven't gone down, but they just look more fluid and it just looks like a more efficient shot. And it looks like there's definitely been a big time emphasis of working on that shot. And he has shown not just like a sidestep mid-range jumper, he has shown when he was going up against DeAndre Hunter down the stretch in Atlanta, that game looked like it was going away. Remember the Brunson turnovers at the end, Grimes fouling Trae Young, sending him to the free throw line, Capella not able to execute on a couple gimmies at the basket or little like bunnies at the basket. RJ was able to face up Hunter or have a pull-up jumper from mid-range territory against DeAndre Hunter. So that's a positive. He has this more versatile offensive game, but he's not being a ball hog with it. He's looking to get his teammates involved. I love the way he got Quentin Grimes involved early in the San Antonio game. The dribble handoff into a three, or dribble handoff into Grimes driving strong to the basket. He recognized that Grimes is still a big part of our offense when it comes to floor spacing. Let's get him involved early. So that's great recognition of reading the game by RJ Barrett. So you could say his handle still needs to get better if you're looking for something of improvement. And again, it's still very early on the season. Some things can dip when it comes to his efficiency. I'm not expecting him to shoot 47% from three for the rest of the season. But if he can keep it at like 37 to 38%, that is an absolute positive. That is above league average for his position. But when it comes to his handle, he could still be loose at times, even though you've seen it improve since his rookie year. The turnovers he needs to fix at times. But when you have the ball in your hands more and you're looking to play make more, I'm okay with it as long as you have that short-term memory and you're not committing turnovers when it really matters. But he's getting to the free throw line. He's using up fakes. I really like his mindset when driving to the basket. There's just years past that. There's such a predictability of what he's going to do at the basket. But I like the side steps when he's working down the lane, looking to go to that right hand more, use the backboard for protection. But he's been doing a good job getting to the free throw line and executing from the free throw line. So his ability to finish right now, shoot threes and make them. So he's finishing efficiently, he's shooting threes and making them efficiently, getting to the foul line and shooting it very well from the foul line. Like that is such a positive. That something I mentioned was I didn't want RJ adding all like something fancy to his game. I want him to refine things that he's supposed to be solid at, and that's what we're getting so far. We want him to be a solid three-point shooter at this point of his career. Looks like he's doing that right now. He's finishing better at the basket. He's making his free throws. He's progressing as a playmaker. That's just a huge part of his game that I'm really proud of, especially in transition. Defensively, I feel like he's been holding his own. Is he a perfect defender? No. Sometimes because he doesn't have really like flexible hips when it comes to these herky-jerky guys, very athletic guys, he can't struggle with them. But in the Clippers game, when he was matched up against Kawhi Leonard in that Clippers game, he held his own. Kawhi only had 17, Paul George only had 10. Julius Randle as well, he did his job on Paul George. When it comes to navigating screens, he could definitely improve in that department. But he's impacting winning, and it's no accident right now. I hope he can keep it up. And I admit it when I'm wrong. Again, it's very early on in the season. I kind of had an acceptance at one point last season that I'm like, RJ's a good player. I don't see all-star, and that's okay. Can he play like an all-star this year? He's playing like a good player right now. It's year 5. And maybe it's the truth. Some guys just develop at different paces. And I've never doubted his love for the game. He's truly locked in on the game of basketball. But will he play like an all-star this year? Will he continue to keep it up? He has very good habits right now. And if you look at RJ's stats, He's averaging 22 points per game. He's averaging 3.3 assists, 3.3 rebounds. I think those rebounds are going to go up. He usually always averages damn near like 6 rebounds per game for his career. He's getting to the free throw line 5 times per game, and he's shooting 86.7% from the free throw line. So that's brilliant. That's such a career high for him. Again, it's very early on. 3-point percentage. He's attempting 5.7 threes per game, making 47% of them. And we have seen him attempt those step backs. Will those go down? I know he can be short on them, but I did like in the Spurs game. Yes, a majority of them have been catch and shoot, but he had a pull-up three in transition that I thought was really awesome, and he got the friendly roll. So shooter's touch is a positive. But if he can, I don't want him to attempt them too much step-back threes. But if he can add that to his game and it can be efficient, that's awesome. But you have Brunson, you have Randall that likes to attempt those shots as well. So I feel like there has to be one of those players that has to make a sacrifice when it comes to that shot diet. But 47% from three on 5.7 attempts, shooting 47% from the field, like that's efficient. Like he's, from years past, it's probably that I've had this overreaction to RJ's efficiency because he's just gone off to like such bad starts finishing and overall. Can it be he's more in rhythm because of FIBA basketball, because of Team Canada? But I believe year 2, he played for Team Canada, or his rookie year entering, like his second year, he was playing for Team Canada. He definitely did something different with Drew Hanlon to prepare himself entering the season, and that's something that I really emphasize to my boy MH. Whatever he's doing in the offseason, entering the season isn't working. He needs to change something up. And whatever he did this offseason, it's working. RJ's off to a great start. I hope he keeps it up. And I think that's a big matchup versus Charlotte, that he has the capability of having a big game. Charlotte is really bad defensively. They're undisciplined on that side of the ball. But I'm proud of the way RJ Barrett's playing so far. Let me know down below your thoughts on RJ. He looks fearless as always. He just always has had this fearless approach, but it comes down to his skill set, efficiently scoring the ball. And when you combine his killer mentality with efficient scoring, facilitating well, just having a nose for the ball, you put that together, you have one hell of a player. And we're getting that right now. It's early on. We'll see if he keeps it up. Let me know down below your thoughts. Peace out, y'all.